Gentlemen, congratulations on tonight. You had the Lieutenant Governor here, you had the Mayor, you had everybody here supporting this great project. I'm going to ask you, since this is your brainchild, this is your baby, how does it feel getting this launched?
Oh my God, it's so great to see so many people here who've come together to help make the project happen. This has been a 12-year-long odyssey for Artscape. We started to recognize many years ago that it's harder and harder for artists to make a living in our city, and we set about doing something about that. And this project is the culmination of literally hundreds and hundreds of people involved in discussions and visioning and kind of collaboration, colleges, universities, trade and service organizations, individual artists, board members, volunteers, donors, sponsors, etc., coming together. And $34 million later, 12 years later, here we are celebrating this place.
You know, I remember when this space was being, rebuilt and everything else. Long live the government. Why was it important to have this? Why is it important to have it in this city? I've heard other people were speaking. They were talking about how, Torontonians, we are creative people, but we never had a home. Is this the home?
This is the home. Toronto's a very creative place. There's a lot of support for creativity in the city, but we realized many years ago that it's harder and harder for artists to make a living from their work. So we wanted to create a place that kind of brought together the programs, the services, the support, the equipment, the technology, the mentorship, the coaching, the business opportunities, the collaboration, all under one roof. That doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. This is, I think, is going to be a game changer for the creatives in the city, and really a game changer for the city itself.
So my friend, you kind of spoke eloquently about this. When we walk through the doors, what is this facility really? What do we see? What is it scooped together? What is this really?
So I think the most important part about Launchpad is the idea of creating collectives, and also that idea of how do we collaborate together amongst different genres of artists. So when you think about the digital artist, or you think about the fashion artist, or the sound artist, it's really about trying to find ways of bringing them together in one space to collaborate, but also work together to create new business ideas. When you think about entrepreneurship, and when you think about creatives today, it's opposite ends. We want to see how to make that a match together for them to understand that being an entrepreneur and a creative is okay. It's okay to look at your practice and wanting to build it to be your singular practice, as opposed to thinking about most artists that have multiple jobs.
Well, I was going to say, though, because we are talking the word arts. Years ago, arts was maybe one or two things. Arts now is a really large word, and it's broken down into so many aspects. How are those aspects broken down here?
Well, I think that's why you need to think of creativity in general, right? And you need to move that idea towards creators and creativity coming together in one space to collaborate and innovate and find ways to work together. It's simple as any other business idea. And in the business community, people work together to create great ideas and great companies. Why can't we do this in the creative space? Why can't creatives come together to build great creative practices that become something? It's no different than if you look at designers who are industrial designers but are really creatives and want a space like this where they could make things, but then also have other creatives work with them in terms of creating that idea from a marketing perspective.
So when people hear about this, you got young people, old people like myself, I guess, they're going to go, how do I get involved in this? How does that work?
Okay, so anybody can get involved if you want to learn about entrepreneurship, you want to develop your business acumen. We have courses, workshops, project-based learning activities like pitch camps and startup weekends that anybody can participate in. Some of them have a fee, some are free. Then there's our membership-based creative production studios where people pay a monthly membership and they get shared access to a whole bunch of different equipment. Fashion and textiles, jewelry, leather making, wood. There's a woodworking facility, digital fabrication studios, 13 different 3D printers, computer labs loaded up with software, audiovisual recording facilities. So it's a really kind of multidisciplinary creative production space. You pay a monthly membership and you get to share access to all of that, but more importantly, you're there to collaborate with people and plug into business opportunities, funding, and all kinds of other stuff.
Who's already underneath this roof? You mentioned some of the companies already.
So companies that we partner with?
Yeah.
So we're partnering with like the Apple, the Adobes, the Autodesk. Kofo's another partner of ours. And we're working to build more and more partnerships. Like, on the music side, there's Universal as well. So we're looking at how do we also bring about tech and creativity. So we're looking at expanding the range of partnerships that we have beyond just the creative sector to say, what are all the different sectors in Toronto that need creatives to work that has an impact across the board? So if you think about even tech companies, look at their design, look at how they market. That's all creativity. I mean, we need to show that as a force in itself in the city.
But not just that type of force, it's Canadian force, it's Torontonian force. I mean, we're pushing that also.
You have to look at creativity in the broader scale. So if you think about cosmopolitan cities, culture, creativity plays a real big factor in them. And why people come to a city like Toronto? It's creativity, it's culture. It's really what drives tourism as well. So we want to make sure that people can engage in all of those different areas by giving them the skill sets to grow their own practices.
You when you were making your speech, you kind of broke down at one point. I want you to talk a little about that, because I think that really does talk about the heart and how you feel about this project.
Well, I know how hard people have worked. Karim and his team have really kind of put themselves out there. Sometimes working 7 days a week, kind of really putting their heart and soul in this place. And I'm really moved by that, that so many people could share this vision. I mean, I played an important role at the beginning, but so many people jumped on board and made it their own vision. And I'm really touched by that, and that's, I think, what made me break down a little bit.
Well, you had a full house here. People are now getting a chance to look at everything, the chicken, everything that's going on, too. How do you think you're going to feel? I'm going to ask both of you. I'll go with you first. How do you think you're going to feel the next couple of years when you see people who have come through here, making their own major companies or winning awards or being able to watch or listen or see something and knowing that they become a major maker, but they started here, the place that made the makers?
Well, that's success for us. That is what that is our intent and our desire. Not to shy away from the fact that members will leave Launchpad. That is success in itself. And what it allows us to do is to actually bring other members into the space.
Yeah.
So we want to create a place where we're constantly having new members coming in, but those that have left us are actually come back and work as mentors or coaches for us.
Well, look, I can't hold you guys because I said there's a party going on over there still. Congratulations on all this. More importantly, how do people get involved? Like, if they want to know, is there a website or anything? Where do they go?
Website, Artscape Daniels Launchpad.ca. Check us out, or find us on the Artscape.ca website as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for what you guys are doing for the city.
Thank you.